think it's very important that middle-class families have a voice in the U.S. Senate, and that's the reason why I'm running. I left a very safe House seat to run for the United States Senate because I've been very frustrated about what has not been happening in the Senate on behalf of everyday Floridians. Incentivizing private investment, making sure that we stand up for education, health care, very, very important to this state. As you know, my history speaks to education excellence, standing up for smaller class sizes in the state, and also making sure that there's a strong voice towards creating the kind of job market so when people graduate from college, they will have a job to go to. And this state has so much potential as it relates to green initiatives, as it relates to new energy technology that will help the university system here in Florida and will also stimulate our economy outside of tourism.
You know, one thing that's interesting in terms of stimulating the economy in particular is that, you know, in the debate you had yesterday, your competitors were actually criticizing you for supporting the stimulus, which, you know, without the stimulus, things would have been so much worse than they are now. And you were talking about, you know, heading off the path to make sure we didn't end up in a depression. Since you're uniquely situated as a sitting member of Congress, tell us a little bit about, you know, what that process entailed of bringing the stimulus together, realizing how bad off we were, you know, and just trying to push us forward a little bit.
Well, the stimulus was designed to stop us from going into a depression, and it accomplished that goal. It put a floor down to make sure that we don't go into a depression. What we find now is impasse in the U.S. Senate. There are other incentive packages that are there, provide tax cuts to big and small business so that they will create jobs and incentivize job creation. But conservative lawmakers that sign on to Tea Party politics, such as Marco Rubio, and the fact that Governor Bush, as Governor Chris, as governor, has been a very weak governor as it relates to pushing jobs forward. You have to be a strong leader to fight in this kind of arena that we're in right now. One thing that Marco Rubio has mastered is that he's willing to stand with the Dick Cheney style politics that took this country back, the middle class over the tax policy that the Bush-Cheney administration set forth. Middle class families made 5% less than they made 8 previous years to that under the Clinton administration. They want to go back to that. They want to go back to where healthcare insurance companies are empowered. They want to go back to the days when the middle class carried not only deficit reduction but also the burden on behalf of the wealthy in this country. And I believe for us to have a vibrant middle class workforce in this country, we're making things again. We're going to have a forward lean towards incentivizing blue collar jobs in this state and white collar jobs in this state, and that's what I represent.